Currently looking at the old mainline Lehigh Valley Railroad tracks. This would have been 2 sets of tracks back in the heyday. Looks cool in the distance how the trees are trimmed so the trains don't hit them. And this video, this is public, will concern the Cooper Blanchard Cemetery, and it says established 1794 in memory of the early settlers of Jenkins Township and the armed service veterans who were buried here. Dedicated 2017. Greater Pittston Historical Society. And Pittston's a great place, but this is the Jenkins Township Plains border roughly. Plains is right over there. We're in Jenkins Township. So we're going to go into the cemetery real quick and have a look around. So here's a gentleman that fought in the Grand Army of the Republic. So that was the Union troops and artillery. Wondering if he was in Gettysburg. Here's a general display of all the headstones in the cemetery. And it's right on the Susquehanna River. Can't leave that on the ground. Don't hold me to it, but I think this was terribly overgrown a number of years ago. And I remember them doing a lot of trimming in here to get it to its current condition, which would make sense as to why they dedicated it back in 2017. So the cemetery sits atop a high embankment along the Susquehanna River, and this is a historic piece of ground in this part of the Wyoming Valley because the Battle of Wyoming transpired across the river. It spilled over all here, and there was a massacre of U.S. troops, well, Continental Army troops, because technically it wasn't the U.S. back then, but that was the most bloody massacre during the entire American Revolutionary War. It was like 300 or 330 patriots were slaughtered. Very bad battle. The British used German mercenaries such as Hessians, and also I believe it was the Iroquois Native Americans as like a shock troop to launch a blitzkrieg, not just here but also down in Muncie. And it was like a Tet offensive where they massed and took the Americans by surprise. And they actually abandoned the Wyoming Valley, I believe, from like 1778 until 1780. I might have those dates wrong, but it was so brutal of a massacre that it just chased out most of the inhabitants, and they couldn't even pick up the dead, unfortunately. So there are people buried here from that conflict. So this is interesting. Revolutionary War. And this is all in German.
German?
Jawohl. Zum Anschein van Kamrath I don't know. He was born May 1, 1742, and he passed away in 1820. Sorry for butchering the German language there. So I don't know if this guy was a British, German, Hessian mercenary, because a lot of them after the war just stayed here, even though they were technically the enemy. And they became farmers, and they were welcomed into American society. So it'd be interesting to know this guy's story.
Yeah.
Really old graves. Departed June 5, 1809. Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this one's damaged. The size of this one. Interesting. It's terribly weathered, unfortunately. Good job on this historical society for taking care of this cemetery. You can see that they're propping up the stones, trying to fix them, taking care of the land. And these people were the first inhabitants of the Wyoming Valley, and they also helped create this country and fought in the Revolutionary War to give us our independence. So they are honoring their war dead and founders of this great valley and region. Died 1829. Gorgeous stone. Yep, Sarah. Andrew Croup. 1832 he passed away. Look at how those stones literally border the property line.
Wait, these stones are can't even be there.
Really cool trees in here. That tree there is dead, but looks cool in here. Pretty decent, somewhat old growth trees. Got some age to them. I really like this stone. Designed as a solemn tribute to the memory of Nancy Blanchard, who departed this life September 2nd, 1809. She was only 18 years old. There must have been some sort of design down there that was inserted. Those stones look amazing. And this is kind of tied into coal mining because right there in the background, they're currently building warehouses, and there was a huge breaker in mining complex. I believe it was the Pennsylvania Coal Company. Not sure, but may have been the Pennsylvania number 14 colliery. And there was a massive coal pile there a number of years ago, and they reclaimed that. And now they're building warehouses. So these stones have seen a lot. They've saw the formation of the country from its infancy up until its farming period, up until the mining industry, and now until the modern era. George P., son of John and Catherine P. Miller, died March 13, 1851. He's only 4 years old.
4?
Yeah, 4 months and 2 days. That's terrible.
Oh.
Poor little guy.
Oh, yeah.
So here is another German gravestone. It's all in German. That one there is the other German stone. It says Revolutionary War. So again, I'm wondering if this is a German Hessian. I really am wondering that. Wagner. And he passed away 1806. Wow, that is so long ago. I think George Washington passed away in 1800. So when was the Constitution ratified? 1790? So the country was only 16 years old. Margaret, that stone says.
Okay.
I have my son with me here, so I'll give him a quick history lesson, because he's all about the military.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But right there, Henry, that says Revolutionary War. So that was the initial war that helped us be born, in a sense, into a nation that we know it. It created the United States of America because we broke away from the British. It's a very important, pivotal.
Oh, so
yeah.
we were British?
We were kind of British, yeah, somewhat. But want to know what's interesting? There was a gentleman who was a general. His name was General George Washington. He's my favorite person in American history. He's just an absolute savage. He's awesome. He was also our first president when we won our independence from the British and we defeated them. We elected him as our first president. And what's amazing about him is he probably knew one of your relatives. Your mother's great-great-great-grandfather, whatever, he was a lieutenant colonel in the Continental Army. So the early American Army, when they were fighting the British, they were ragtag, they were the underdogs, and Mommy's great-grandfather not only fought for the Continental Army, but he was a lieutenant colonel, which means he was very important. And their army was very small, so I can guarantee, okay, that he knew George Washington personally.
Oh? What?
Your great-great-great-grandfather probably knew the first president of our country, George Washington. He probably knew him personally because he was high-ranking in the Continental Army. Him and George probably were friends.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, that's... I don't know, but it's cool.
But you've descended from American greatness.
American greatness?
American greatness. You and Maggie have a really cool bloodline. You guys,
We have the same blood.
well, kinda, but you have different blood from Mommy. But yeah, you're a direct descendant of greatness and patriotic America.
Yeah.
Margaret here died February 10, 1851. Sarah passed away in 1836. 1838, I believe. Mr. Henry, can you clear her grave of these branches, dear sir, and toss them over the embankment towards the river? But do not fall over said embankment and into river. Yep. Just be careful. I'll be watching you. Gotta put the kids to work. So I'm looking at these stones, and they're extremely weathered. That doesn't even look like a headstone, but I guarantee it is some sort of animal holes down here, which is kind of terrifying. You think about it. Maybe it's an entrance to a coal mine. Not looking. Go on, boy. Get working. Go. Go. Crazy man. Watch that box. Go on. Go. There you go. That's good enough. Thank you. Good job. I often do wonder if this ground is cursed, though, because the Battle of Wyoming and subsequent massacre that happened after the battle was just heinous. Again, it was the bloodiest massacre suffered by the Continental Army during the whole Revolutionary War itself. And then just immediately upstream, the Knox coal mine disaster happened, which is also completely infamous. And another scary chapter of American history. You can see how the river today is mimicking the conditions of the Knox coal mine disaster time period. This stone is in remarkable condition. This poor young man died at the age of 10 only. Back in 1828. Look at this stone. Love that text. 1815. Wow. Another one of these cool stones. Almost looks like something out of the American West. 1833 she passed away. She was 88 years old. That's amazing that someone from that time period could live that long. Here is Nancy. Died in 1847. Last name of Wood. I see a lot of Henry names here, Mr. Henry. Pearl, yep. Look at that gorgeous stone. Wow. Margaret A., daughter of John and Harriet Stout. Oh my God. She wasn't even a year old, just a few months. Very sad. God bless her. Can't make it out, but that's a military symbol, I do believe. Can't help but wonder where this poor soul is buried, because their stone is not on their grave, most likely. There are so many women named Margaret here.
She only was 6 months. 23
Nope,
days.
38 years old, it says. 38. 38 years, 6 months, and 23 days.
Oh.
I was here yesterday filming and filmed this stone, but it was so cold and miserable I had to run out of the cemetery. It was 3 degrees with the wind chill. But today is February 5th, and when I was reading this for the camera, I was utterly speechless because it was February 4th. And this is one of the first stones that I was filming for the video. What a beautiful tombstone.
Yeah.
Lovely design up top.
Oh, that looks so cool.
She was 81 years old. She lived a good life. So here's Mr. Peter Winter. He was 65 years old and he passed away in 1814. So come down here for yourself and please check out this lovely cemetery. Again, Plains Township, Jenkins Township border, right along the Susquehanna River. And in the distance there, you can see a teal SUV. Just pull alongside the road, cross the railroad tracks, and get out and explore. Thanks for watching us. Have a good day. See ya. That poor Mr. and Mrs. Stout, their stone is mangled. 1842. Brutally cold today. It's cool that they're propping these up and attempting to maintain this because this was overgrown for a long time. So kudos to them. Look at this little thing. Some decent growth trees here. That one's dead. Here's another awesome Revolutionary War veteran. Oh, it's another German. It's hard to make that one out. Actually, easier to read on the camera. That's something else. Died 1806. Man. That's interesting. Check out that view down there from the old Lehigh Valley Railroad.